What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here, and let's immediately start off with one of the big rumors going on right now, which is that an Uncharted 4 sign has been spotted in the Sony PlayStation 4 Greatness Await ad, so let's take a look. Fake. I'm sorry, but I already see people getting ahead of themselves, so fast. And yeah, many people, sent me this video, said, "What do you think of this?" And I also saw a lot of discussion on online forums and stuff like that. But I just don't understand that, people discuss this for such a long time, but nobody really does any research or something like that. Because, what I did is I looked at the there's like a behind the scenes video, and yeah, once you start looking at that and start going through it, frame by frame, then you can at one point, see that same sign somewhere, and it says Round 4, not Uncharted 4. I'm really sorry. I thought I should, start off with this, rumor, because once I saw that for the first time, I was like, that could actually be very true. But then I, thought about it, how they have, all these people there, working helping to make that, advertisement, and it would have leaked or something. Somebody would have thought. So, yeah, I was already sure that it wasn't, that it didn't say Uncharted 4. So I did some more research, and I found that. So, but yeah, of course, it's a cool introduction to the topic, which is of course Uncharted 4. Mainly what I think now that it has not been announced at this E3. So, it's kind of stupid. I've been saying that I thought that Uncharted 4 would be announced this E3, and I've been saying that for, since like October or something like that. And it's kind of dumb to see that actually not happening then, of course, because yeah, I definitely, I wasn't like 100% sure of it or something like that, but I definitely thought it was, going to happen, and it didn't, which is a shame. Also because we don't have any certainty now, that it's actually coming. Not that I'm not certain about that at all, but it's still, it would have been cool if it had been announced. And I had my reasons for that, because of course Naughty Dog has been working on this for 1.5 years now, and normally they would have like 1 year in between, announcing their new game. So I really thought it was going to happen. E3 is a big event. The first Uncharted actually also was announced at E3, so I definitely thought it was happening. But it didn't, which is a shame. But now that it has not been announced, I already see some people, and actually one or two in particular, who commented on a video and said, well, all hope is lost, we're not going to see Uncharted 4, it has not been announced, so, it's not coming. And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, nothing about the theory has changed at all. The only thing that's changed, the only thing that, is different is that, Naughty Dog didn't decide to announce their new game. They still have a second team that has been working on Uncharted 4 or a new IP, at least a new game, since, all the way back in 2011 when Uncharted 3 was released. They've been working on that for 1.5 years now. That has not changed in any way. They just have not decided to announce it. That's the only difference. And for example, my prediction on the release date for their new game, which I definitely think is Uncharted 4. I've always said that I think it's going to be released in the fall of 2014, so in 1.5 years. So they still have, some time to announce their game. What I just thought is that Sony wanted to announce Uncharted 4 in the same way that Microsoft did for Halo. It's just, tell people that Uncharted 4 is coming, before the PS4 launches, just so people know that it's coming, and they already know that they've, got to buy a PS4. That was basically the whole theory behind it. And actually, that theory could still happen. I just thought that, E3 was a big event. Even though The Last of Us was coming out like a week after, I still thought that they could have already announced Uncharted 4. Basically because Naughty Dog originally had also planned to announce The Last of Us at E3 like 4 months before Uncharted 3 came out, so I thought that wouldn't be too big of a problem, Yeah, I thought that could still happen, but it didn't. But there's still like Gamescom coming up, there's the Tokyo Game Show coming up, or maybe even the Spike Video Game Awards, like they have always announced their new games at. So it's not like anything has changed at all about that. It's just that they haven't decided to announce it, this E3, but it's still going to happen sometime soon. I'm sure it's going to happen this year. It's going to happen at either Gamescom or the VJs. Right now I wouldn't really know at what event. you know, Sony decided not to show any real games, any real system sellers that I talked about. You know, we have Infamous and Killzone and these great games that will, you know, make the PS4 outsell at launch, but after that, you know, Sony needs real games to sell the system, and they haven't announced anything so far yet. They haven't announced a new Uncharted, they haven't announced a new, you know, God of War, a new Little Big Planet, they haven't announced that Gran Turismo 6 is also coming to PS4 yet, so, you know, they don't have any real big games, and they're going to show those off sometime soon. So whether it's Gamescom, whether it's the Spike Video Game Awards, it's going to happen. Just don't worry about that, it's going to happen. But it just, of course, kind of sucks that it wasn't announced this E3, and I would be the last person to admit that I wasn't wrong with that, so, you know, but there's also, like, still a few more, kind of like, yeah, things to talk about, actually, that could be interesting. First of all, Naughty Dog said that they will be using the same engine they used for Uncharted and The Last of Us for their PS4 games, so that doesn't necessarily mean that they are working on Uncharted 4, but of course, it is kind of like a logical move to say, okay, we can just use the same engine when we're also making the same type of games. And the second rumor is actually something in The Last of Us, kind of like an Easter egg. There's this sign which says that I believe it's 17 October or something, you know, it has to do with like an evacuation, something like that. And now people are saying that that's kind of like hinting to the new announcement of their new game. I personally don't really see it happening because, you know, the 17th of October, it's such a random date. And I don't think any events are planned at that time. Gamescom is in August, the Spike Video Game Awards is in December, so, you know, I wouldn't really see anything being announced at that point. It could be, of course, but yeah, I mean, I personally don't see it happening, but let me know what you think about that. I actually find it funny that many people are talking about that right now, when there were already, you know, there was already discussion about that back in, like, 2 months ago when they when Naughty Dog released the trailer for The Last of Us that already showed that sign. So yeah, people have already been discussing this for months, but it's funny that many people are bringing it up right now because The Last of Us is out. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Of course, in all my previous Uncharted videos, I've already said that Sony just needs a title like Uncharted 4, and you know, Naughty Dog has always said that they will keep making Uncharted games as long as there's enough people that want them. They've said that you know, they still have a lot of stories to tell about Drake, and that they are not done yet with the franchise. So just don't worry about that. And I mean, it definitely could still be a new IP that they're working on, and that they are working on something brand new, not on Uncharted 4, but you know, I just don't see that happening because you know, Uncharted is too big of a franchise for Sony just to abandon. It's not going to happen, I'm pretty sure of that. Anyways, that's pretty much everything you need to know about this. Let me know your thoughts, of course. You know, when do you think Uncharted 4 will be announced? At Gamescom, at the Spike Video Game Awards? Just let me know what you think about those Easter eggs in The Last of Us, of course. So then that's pretty much it. I thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.